Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Hopefully, you can hear me loud and clear, see me, hear me. There we go. All righty. Today is a Wednesday, June 11th, June 11th, 2025. But it's a Wednesday. Um, and today we're going to be talking about you don't want to move to Thailand this year until you maybe listen to a few things I have to say. But I have a few things to say today besides just this subject. So we'll be talking about a few things, but let's just hang on and move slowly. I'm waiting for my drinks. Today's 2-for-1 drink day. You know, let's see here. Okay, looks like my drinks are getting ready to come here. So how's everybody doing? It is a somewhat cloudy day out. It's going to be hot, but it's cloudy today. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Sawadee ton chow. I hope that you are taking care of yourself because you know what? That's my full-time job right now. Just take care of myself and take care of my kids, my wife, but take care of myself. That's very important. Now, what was I looking for? Well, Thailand can be one of the best places in the world to live, depending on the viewpoint you have. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's right for you, especially in 2025. And I've been here for a long time. Obviously, I say this all the time, but you know, every day I'm just here longer and longer, and I see people come and go. I mean, I've seen people back in the beginning when I first came here. I was here for say 2, 3 years, and I hear these guys coming in. Oh, I love my girl. She's so great. She's the best. She's fantastic. And then like 2 weeks later, I'm like, hey, where's your girl? We broke up. You know, these kind of things happen. Um, and when I came over here, it was quite a bit different than what it is now. And I tried to illustrate that in a video I did not long ago about then and now, but it was much easier. And I don't know that I would come here. Honestly, I don't know that I would come here. I just keep thinking about this. I don't know that I would move here. I don't know if this would be the place that I would move if I was to move now. The rules have changed, and you know, it's hard for me to say because right now this is not my dream. I'm not thinking, oh my God, I'm in Thailand. What a dream life. And I don't think that way. I know maybe some people do. Some people go, oh, I love my life here. Yeah, I love my life here. It's great. But that doesn't mean that, it's perfect. Thank you. Oh, yeah, look at this. These are really good. Very good. Coffee the old fashioned way. Very nice. So anyway, the margins of error right now, you got to have money. That's first and foremost. You don't have you don't have money, you might as well forget about it. It's an orange. It's an orange slice. That's all it is. It's actually the outer edge of the orange. It's not the orange. The orange is not in it. It's the skin, the peel. But it is very, very good. I know there's a little sugar in this, but it's so good. So today, anyway, I'm going to break it down a little bit, and I'm going to tell you why I wouldn't move here if I were you. The things that I would do, things that I wouldn't do, and everything that you need before you decide to book your trip over here. And I said the other day, oh well, some people, they come here and they fit in, and most don't. And you know what? There are a lot of people that fit in, but there definitely are some people they don't fit in. They never speak the Thais in Thai. You know, I mean, that in itself says a lot. Imagine going to Belize or Venezuela or Ecuador or whatever, and you don't speak any Spanish. You're like, hello, how are you? People would be like, guy don't even speak, hola. He doesn't even say a couple of words in Spanish. You don't fit in. Anyway, like I said, I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. I've been living here a long time, more than 30 years now. Well, about 30 years. Um, just do me a favor. If you like this stream, you like everything that goes on here, click the like button. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified of videos and streams. And if you want to send me any kind of a message or a letter, a Dear Scott letter, what was it that it used to be? Was it Dear Ann? Oh, Ann Landers or something like that? You want to send something like that, Dr. Ruth, or you need a consultation, by all means, send me your message at an American in Bangkok at gmail.com and American in Bangkok at gmail.com. All right. So right now, the uh, the Thai baht has been very stable, pretty stable. It's 32.64 to the dollar. Air quality is 56, which is not too bad. But I mean, my wife and I are talking about, like, where do we go from here? Where do we want to go? Where every single day now. She's like, well, I've got to go to Laos and we've got to go to Surat and I'm like, well, I don't want to go to Laos. She's got to go for work for 2 days. She didn't really have to go, but she kind of wants to go because she's never been to Laos. I'm like, you ain't missing much, honey. All right, so the temperatures. Right now it's 83 degrees Fahrenheit, 28 Celsius. The high is 89 Fahrenheit or 32 Celsius. Low is 80 or 27 Celsius. And the feel like temperature right now is 84 Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius. 74% humidity. It is a little bit windy, west southwest, 8 kilometers an hour, which is only 5 miles an hour. It's not that windy, and it's going to be rainy for the next 2 weeks, just like it has been for the last 2 weeks. It's rainy season. Okay. Now let me see something here. Oh well, thank you for all the comments I've got so far. Wow. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Nice to have you here. Now, before I get on to this subject, I wanted to talk about something. And it's very personal to me. I did a video about it, and I'm going to put it up eventually. I've got like 8 videos ready to go up. They're going to go up, but I got one about a taxi driver who tried to rip me off the other day, which was kind of funny. Got one about this subject right now, which this subject is my grandfather. And I hadn't planned on talking about it. I didn't think anything about it. My mother, well, when I was a kid, I don't remember how many times I met my grandfather or anything like that, but I do remember one time I was causing trouble, and I don't know, I might have been 14 or 15, and I was a little troublemaker. And my mother said, well, why don't I send him to my father's house? So I went to northern Florida, and I stayed with him for, like the summer. And he had a farm with cows and pigs and all kinds of things. Yes. And I'm finding out more. And that is part of this little story here. So, to be honest, I still remember being a little bit intimidated by him because he was like 6'3", and he must have been, well, he wasn't when he came back from the war, but after a while, I think he was about 220, 230. He was a big guy, you know. And I was a little kid. I was, 120 pounds, soaking wet. And so I went there and stayed with him. And I just remember good times being there. I don't remember much about my grandmother because she wasn't very well. But I remember him. And I remember he was, to me, he seemed like a tough old guy. So my mother, when she came here with my sister and my sister's kids, and we all went to Kanchanaburi, she said to me, he got shot down over Burma. I said, what? No, really? She said, yeah. And I thought she said he walked into Thailand. He walked across the border. He made his way across the border after being shot down. Now, that wasn't the case. That's not what she told me. For some reason, I got that in my head. And I started looking around a little bit, and I found a little bit, like when he was born and when he served and things like that. I knew about this stuff. That's all I could find. And Billy actually reminded me the other day. He goes, I was going to look for your grandfather. He goes, you got to send me the information. I said, oh, yeah, yeah. For some reason, I looked a different way online. I just started searching things. My mother told me about this aerial route that the people in the military used to fly from China to India back in World War II. It was a supply route for the Chinese because we were on the side of the Chinese because the Japanese were trying to take over. And so, I didn't think much of it or whatever, and I started looking around. So, I'm going to read you what I found. I have the short version and I have the long version, and the long version is not that long. It's 12 pages, but a lot of it is just, different information. Yes, it was the Flying Tigers with what was his name? Chenault. I forget what his first name was. Let's see. I can tell you in about 2 seconds here. Claire Lee Chenault. Okay, he was an American military aviator, best known for his leadership of the Flying Tigers and the Chinese National Air Force in World War II. So that in itself is kind of interesting, right? So it says here, and a lot of the information, some of the information is redacted, like the name of the pilot is redacted. I don't know what the name of the pilot was. They departed on February 16th in a C-46A, 1944, from Kunming, China. Now, we know where Kunming is. I mean, if you know anything about Southeast Asia, Kunming is not all that far from here. Which, okay, could be interesting. The destination was Chabua, India, which is now just a little rinky-dink town. But they do have an archive in Chabua, supposedly. They were ferrying cargo. They were ferrying an engine, a new engine. And what happened was they were given incorrect bearings, and then they ran out of gas. They were basically flying. They were given bearings where to go. They realized, hey, we're going the wrong way. We're not going the right way. And then by that time they went, well, we're almost out of gas. So the crew, everybody bailed out. I think there was 3 people. And here's what it says here. Let me just, I'm going to start reading some of this now. It's very interesting to me. But it says, on February 16, 1944, I was a radio operator aboard a C-46A aircraft en route from Kunming, China to Chanbua, India. About 2 hours out from Kunming, our navigator gave the pilot bearings, which were erroneous. The pilot followed them for a while and then realized they were wrong. He attempted to get another bearing from the radio range at Jorhat, India, but received no answer. As the aircraft was nearly out of gas, the pilot decided that the crew needed to bail out. I jumped out the forward door, but the slipstream pulled my chute out before I got clear of the ship. My parachute caught on the fuselage, and I was badly bruised, so we probably got slammed up against the fuselage. When I finally broke loose and fell, I landed on a tree-covered slope and lay unconscious for some time. When I came to, I couldn't move my right arm and was suffering intense pain in my back and legs. Now, I don't know. I suspect that the chute did not open properly, and he basically just went down and landed on trees, and he was very lucky that he landed on something that was somewhat soft. I mean, that there is like surprising to me. But I lay on the hillside until morning. Then the pilot, second lieutenant, name not given, who had landed nearby, found me and helped me down to a stream. He fixed a splint from my right arm using a bamboo stick and some cloth torn from my shirt. He also rubbed my back and legs to help ease the pain. We stayed by the stream that day, and the next morning we started following a small trail. Evasion and escape. After walking about a mile and a half, we saw barefoot tracks on the trail and followed them. That afternoon, we met 5 native Kachin armed with homemade rifles and machetes. They motioned for us to follow them and took us to a small village where we were given food and a place to sleep. The next day, they guided us to a larger village. There, a native who spoke some English told us we would be taken to the British. We remained in that village for about 5 days, during which time I was given some herbal medicine and more splints were made from my arm. We were carried part of the way on stretchers to another village where we met some British liaison men and Gurkha troops. At the last village we reached, we met a British sergeant and some Kachin levies. He spoke English and asked for our names, ranks, and organization. He gave us quinine and more food. We spent 2 nights at that location and then started the trip towards Fort Hertz. Now, Fort Hertz is in northern Myanmar near Putao. And the thing about Putao, I've been researching this, and I wanted to go to Putao a long time ago. I told Billy about this. It was Kakabaratsi was the name of, good morning, Dowlo. Kakabaratsi was the name of the mountain, and I didn't want to go to the mountain, but what I did want was to go to this bridge that was nearby, and I wanted to go walking on that bridge. Well, I figured it all out, and to go there was going to be like $20,000, $25,000 for 2 guys. 35 years old and considering Thailand for the 5-year DTV visa. Good luck, buddy. I wouldn't do it, quite honestly. Unless you got plenty of money saved, I wouldn't do it. If you got plenty of money saved, okay, we'll take the risk then, I guess. Anyway, let me get back to this because I want to finish this. I don't want to spend all day on this. That's if I can find it here. Here we go. You'll pay the first 500. Wow, $500. That's great, but going to take a lot more than that to get there. Although I am looking into it again, but not for trekking purposes. And to go into Putao, the city, You don't need a permit. I was like, you don't need a permit, but it is like, I don't know, $300 to fly there from Mandalay. Expensive, considering that it's only like, 45 minutes away or something like that. All right, let me finish this here. Okay. On arrival to Fort Hertz, we were questioned briefly by British intelligence. They gave us new clothes, medical attention, and hot meals. I remained at Fort Hertz for a few days and was then flown back to Chabua in India in an L5 liaison plane. Suggestions and recommendations: maps should be more detailed, especially showing terrain features. It is also advisable to include more survival equipment, particularly for injured men. I would recommend more training in first aid and jungle survival, particularly on what to eat and not to eat. The natives were excellent, but if they hadn't helped us, I'm not sure we could have made it out. Now, this is his direct report back. All personnel listed above successfully bailed out of the aircraft and evaded capture. Corporal Hammond sustained significant injuries upon exit from the aircraft, but received aid from fellow crew and local natives. Now, the thing is that I asked my mother, he never got any kind of disability pay or anything like that. In fact, he had to go back to work once he got back, and he was, after like a month or two, he was well. He was still in the service for like 2 years. Okay, assistance was rendered by 5 unidentified Kachin natives equipped with locally made firearms. Now, they say unidentified. I wonder if anybody there still knows who those people were, and do they have sons or daughters or grandsons or granddaughters? That's what I'm interested in. These men were made first contact and guided the invaders through multiple villages. In each village, food and shelter were provided without requests for compensation. Eventually, contact was made with British-led Kachin levies and Gurkha troops who assumed responsibility for transport to Fort Hertz. The Kachin tribesmen displayed extensive local knowledge and capability in jungle navigation, medical improvisation, and communication with British forces. Upon arrival at Fort Hertz, he was diagnosed. There was 3. I don't know who the third person was, but was diagnosed with the following injuries: right arm dislocation of shoulder joint and several contusions, multiple bruises and muscle strains consistent with parachute trauma and uncontrolled landing, fatigue and malnutrition due to limited food intake and physical exertion during evasion. Initial first aid was self-administered by the pilot using bamboo and torn cloth. Herbal applications from Kachin villagers appeared to reduce swelling. British medical staff at Fort Hertz administered quinine, applied bandages, and provided physical evaluation. He was deemed fit for air transport and evacuated via L5 to Chabua for further treatment. All personal and mission equipment was lost when crew members bailed out. The crew did not carry jungle survival kits, which could have assisted in early recovery and signaling. Local guides provided food and direct movement. No attempts were made to retrieve any equipment from the crash site due to unknown location and terrain difficulty. Now, you think about, this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking right now that area, that jungle, if you watch the piece on the climbers who climbed the mountain, Mount Kakabaratsi, the jungle in that area was terrible. I mean, it was so bad. They were like getting stuck with bamboo that was in the ground. There were snakes. There was all kinds of things. Now, this is 80 years before, so I would imagine it was even worse, which is crazy when you think about it. It says here that Corporal Hammond was debriefed by British and American intelligence officers. The following key points were recorded. there was a navigation error, bailout sequence, evasion route. There was no enemy contact because of the evasion route. Morale remained high, credited survival to the pilot and Kachin assistance. And I don't remember where it is. I don't see it right here. Let me just look at this other one real quick, if I can. Is this the one? No, that's not it. How about this one? Well, I don't know where it is, but I could probably find it somewhere. But it just basically said, without the pilot and definitely without the Kachin, which that's a section of Burma. And it's not a section that you can go to very easily. There's a lot of places in that area that you need to have a permit. And it's like each city you need a permit. And they're like 250, $300 each. So it's not cheap. But if you go to Putao, the city, supposedly you can go right into the city and you don't need a permit, which is pretty cool. So he basically said, if it wasn't for the Kachin and the pilot, I would have been dead. That's what he said. So they flew him back to India. I don't know how long he was there. I'm trying to find all this kind of this stuff out. I'm trying to get photos and video and all this other kind of stuff. But he was flown back to the United States, to Miami Springs. Now, I don't know, but 2 weeks after he landed, he married my grandmother. Now, I don't know if he knew her before or he just met her in the hospital and said, "You're my angel, marry me." I don't know what happened. So that's what I'm trying to find out. And it's very difficult because, he's dead. He's been dead for almost 30 years. But I still remember meeting him at least on one occasion. I vaguely remember him. But I thought that was a pretty interesting story. And I'm going to try to follow it up and see what I can find. I think it's pretty interesting. And if I can find more information, whatever I can find out. I mean, there's a place in Chabua. There's a place in Putao. They're like archives for all these things. And there's also in the British archives and then in the U.S. archives. So maybe I can find some information out. I don't know. We'll probably be back there next month. Okay, very nice. Aren't you lucky? Was there just 2 people on the plane? No, it was 3 people. They'll put a Starbucks there next month. They're not putting a Starbucks in this place, pal. No, there's no chance that they'll put a Starbucks there. There's not even a Starbucks in Myanmar. I mean, I know I went with Billy. What was it? Was it a Pizza Hut or something? I don't know. I don't know their names. I don't know anything. And to be quite honest, all I found was a little blurb, but it had the report number on it. And I used ChatGPT and said, I need to find this report number. How can I find it? And blah, blah, blah. And it said, well, you just go to this place and you can find it right there. I couldn't find it. So I said, well, can you give me a sample of this? And then it said, oh, yeah, I can download the whole thing for you. I was like, oh, okay. So it gave me a PDF, and then I also copied it, and but I mean, incredible. And I already know. You see, the thing is that they used to call this route that they would fly. It was a cargo route. He was a cargo guy, but he was a radio man for the cargo plane. They used to fly over the Himalayas. And so it was a very dangerous route. And the planes used to leak. I was reading that the planes used to leak fuel and hydraulics. That was their weakness. The 47 was supposedly better. The 46 could transport more stuff, but it wasn't as stable as the C-47. So he was on the 46, so maybe it was leaking fuel. I have no idea. I don't know. Could have leaked fuel. They could have just been out of fuel because of where they were going. Who knows? Visit the VFWs in Bangkok. Yeah, maybe they can help. That's a good idea. I'll have to check it out. So anyway, I thought that was pretty interesting. I don't understand if they're talking to the people who work here or they're trying to talk to people who are coming in. I never understand this. Was it safer to bail out than do a forced landing? First of all, I don't think they could have landed in the Himalayas. But second of all, I think that was their only choice because they were running out of fuel. They didn't have any fuel. So, he started to go out. Boom, he got caught. I just can't imagine this. The thing, the thing's probably not going all that fast, but I mean, it's still probably going, let me see something. 350 miles an hour or something. Let me see. 433 between 300, no, 433 kilometers, which is what? What is 433? That's about 300. 269. So the thing was going about 270 miles an hour. He got caught, couldn't get out. The other people are going down with their chutes. He's trying to break free. He breaks free. Then he falls, I guess, onto a slope with a bunch of trees. And those trees probably saved his life. I just can't even imagine how that happened, where he survived. And, the thing is that for me, it's very important. I know it doesn't sound that important. I mean, it sounds like, oh, wow, what a great movie. Oh, that's great. No, it's, if he didn't make it, I'm not here. If he didn't make it, I'm not here. My mother's not here. My kids are not here. My sister's not here. Nobody's here. We're all gone. We're not even, you know. So by that simple fact that he lived, you know, I'm here and everybody else is here. And so that's the thing. I don't want to let the story die. I told my kids this. I showed them everything. And I told them, they're just like, they couldn't believe it. Now, my wife is kind of like, oh, wow, okay. To her, she's like, busy doing her whatever she's doing. But my mother was excited to hear about this, and it's, she's like, oh, follow it up. Let's see what we can find. And, if I got to go to India, I mean, maybe I'll find nothing. I don't know. I don't want to go to India. Believe me, I don't want to go to India. If I got to go to, here in Bangkok, if I got to go somewhere in Burma, if I got to do that, well, then I'm going to do it. Yeah, if Lalisa fell, if Lalisa died, my wife would be like, oh my God. I don't even, I'm like, why is that important? Lalisa is not important. Oh, yeah, okay, I like her music. Oh, yes, okay, that's it. I don't want to know anything more about her. I don't care about her. No offense to her, you know. Anyway, let's talk about this. Let's talk. It's nice that I found this information out, and I still think I'm going to be able to find out a lot more information about him and about his squadron and about everything that happened. My mother told me that he moved apparently after Florida. First, he moved to Tennessee, and then he was living in a house where she was a little, like, just a little kid. And there was a guy who was a veteran who lived 2 doors down from him, and she gave me the guy's name, and he was a general, not a major. He was a major, and he was a pilot. Good morning, Jim. He was a pilot, and so they got to be friends. And then, apparently the guy died or whatever. But my grandfather died in 1998, so I mean, it's been a long time. But whatever information I can find, I want to find it out. And my wife wants to go to Laos. Okay, go. I'm not excited. I've already been there. Surat, okay, I'm a little bit, yeah, let's go. But this, it's like you've got a puzzle and you're trying to put the puzzle together. And I don't know if I can put it together before I'm dead. I don't know. But maybe I can get a lot more information. And, I'd like to do like a little memorial to him or something. I'd like to do something. So I'm going to try to do it. Anyway, that's it. That's my story of my grandfather. And, well, I'm not going to CASHAPP. There's no way. That's just, CASHAPP is a done deal. It's been done for years. And I went twice when I should have went once. And even that was too much. But there are a lot of other places in Thailand to go. However, I'd like to figure out this project a little bit, just work on it. It might take me a couple of years. I don't know, who knows? It could take me a month. It could take me 10 years. And I might not ever find anything more out, I don't know. So we'll find out. Anyway, don't move to Thailand until you watch this video. The myth of Thailand as a paradise. I hate to tell you this, but there's been a lot of guys over the years who have been saying, oh my God, it's such a paradise there. Yeah, sure it is. Too bad no coordinates, although they'd probably be wrong because that's why it happened. But if there was, you could look for the plane. That's the idea. The idea is to try to find out what the coordinates were when the plane went down, even in the villages, and then try to find something. I mean, I don't know if the plane would be there after 80 years, but I mean, I just like to find anything. I mean, if it was if they found an engine or something, and that would be cool. I don't know. I just think that that's really, really cool, and even finding this report, it's a 12-page report, and I guess, I should expect it because they've kept records for quite some time, but they don't have any records of him after the service or before the service. They don't have records of anything, Oh, I'm sure it's absolutely jungle. And when they're saying Kachin tribesmen, you're talking about guys, they don't speak the same language. They don't speak any English. And I don't even know if I can get out in that area because you have to have a permit to travel up there. They got people watching you. I mean, I stand out like a sore thumb, so you need to do everything on the up and up. Now, I don't know why they wouldn't want me to find something like that. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know if they'd want me to find wreckage or the village or something like that. I don't know. I just don't know. So it's interesting, but I was talking to my buddy about it, and he said, well, you got to find a lot more information out than what you found out. You know, so we're talking about uh, we're talking about my grandfather who was in World War II, and his plane went down over Burma. The pilot was given the wrong coordinates, and then they ran out of gas because they were on the it's called the hump over the Himalayas, and they ran out of gas, and they had to bail out. So they bailed out. My grandfather, the chute got stuck, and so he went down and crashed onto some trees and he was unconscious for a day. And it was just this whole sequence of events that happened in this area. um I don't know if he just had the pilot there with him, because usually the pilots are pretty damn sharp. I mean, compared to like a radio man who's that's like a grunt almost. I don't want to say it's a grunt, but you know, pilots kind of know a few things, and I don't know if he would have made it out with uh, tribesmen, because those guys, it's like that's their home. So I don't know, but I'm gonna look into it. So anyway, let's get to this. Yeah, lots of people here chasing the fantasy, tropical beaches, cheap food, smiling women, $200 rent, 60 baht pad krapao. That's what it is now, but it used to be a lot cheaper than that. I mean, these things are still around, but Thailand is not paradise. It's just another country. And there's a lot of great things. How many times have I said this? It's a beautiful country. Now, I was talking to somebody, I don't know, yesterday, day before yesterday, and I said, yeah, it can be beautiful. I said, it can be beautiful. I'll ignore that comment. Um, but, like right here, it's not a beautiful place. It's not, I mean, it's okay. It's a nice, clean area where I live. And, people get along and smile at you. Yeah, okay, great. But it's not paradise. It's not like some Norman Rockwell painting where you're looking just going, oh my God, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It's not like that. But the thing is that real life doesn't factor sometimes. It doesn't give a shit what you think. It's just your perspective. You show up broke, clueless, cocky, like, well, I only got $2,000, but that's plenty, man. I'll make it. No, you won't. And it's just the thing. People say this. They say it about New York, but Thailand will eat you up and spit you out, man. If you're just gonna sit around, you're not going anywhere, you're not doing it. Okay, maybe you'll make it. If you got money, you'll make it. But if you're like, okay, I'm gonna live a full life, you don't know, but you're gonna. You might fall flat on your ass. This is not like you know, you come here and you go, oh, it's so Instagrammable. Everything here is Instagrammable. I see this shit on Instagram and I just go, what a bunch of bullshit. You know, you're a foreigner. and nobody cares. Yes, you're a foreigner. Okay, if you're nice to people, people will be nice to you. Simple as that. No, it's a mental thing. I mean, you really want to make it if you've got a place to stay. You can make it for $500, $1,000. You can. You're gonna be. I mean, you're gonna be. It's gonna be tight, but you can do it, right? But you just don't get any points for being a foreigner because I'm Scott Mallon and I got white skin. Doesn't make me somebody here who's got so much clout. If I got clout at all, it's because of some of the things that I've done or that I know or that I've said or something like that. But it's not because I'm a white boy. That has nothing to do with it. And I mean, it could be, listen, you could be black, yellow, whatever color you want to be. It doesn't matter. If you know a few things, you kind of go up the ladder a little bit. And you can only go up so much because you ain't never going to be Thai. So you better bring some kind of a value here. You better blend in, or like I said, Thailand will chew you up and spit you out. Now, I asked ChatGPT, how does it compare to 10 to 15 years ago here now? And it says Thailand is definitely not what it was 10 to 15 years ago. Now, I could have told you that because a long time ago I was saying it's going to change. It's going to change here. Don't worry, it will change in 10 years. And it did. I don't know how I called it. Maybe it's just because, everything changes. And I just looked at things and I went, it's changing already. It's going to change. All right, what do we got here? Cheap fantasy for me is a massage and 30 baht a gram for weed. Could care less about the weed. Very good for you. Okay, you can smoke a doobie. Harder to make a mental. Yeah. The amount of sensationalist YouTubers has risen exponentially lately. The bullshit that they spew is irritating. I know it. I know. And that's why I don't care. I'll just sit here and I'll just talk about a subject. I'll think of a subject. I'll figure out a subject. I'll see a subject and I'll go, okay, I'm going to talk about this. I'll talk about it for 5 or 10 minutes. And that's it, because I will call bullshit. And a lot of the guys here, I see these guys, oh yeah, I've got this place. It's 25,000. Well, first of all, they say they're living off of like $800 a month. And then they show you the place where they say they're staying and it's $600 a month. I'm like, well, how are you living off the other 200? What are you doing? How are you doing anything? Well, I think if you come here, you just have to remember that this ain't your country. It's not your country. That's all there is to it. It's not my country. I can say that without any hesitation. It's not my country. It's not where I was born. However, if I'm going to fit in, if you can fit in at all, I'm going to fit in as best as possible. I don't want any hassles. I don't want anything. I did a video the other day about this taxi driver who tried to rip me off. And I just basically said to him, please turn the meter on. Then he was like, just turn the meter on. That's all. Or you stop right here. And then later on, he was still trying to get money from me. Oh my God, man. And I just looked at him and I went, dude, it's like, what happens when I go, I've been here for 50 years. You think I need to hear this bullshit from you? I don't need to hear it. And I don't, but the thing is you don't have to be an asshole about it. You just keep your calm and that's it. Yes, they most are. Hello there. Hello, hello, hello. All right, listen, by the way, before I get even further into this, do me a favor, smash the like button. I would appreciate that. And if you see the little join button to the left of where it says, well, I don't know what it says on your screen. You see the join button, hit the join button, and for $1.99, you can join, become a member of this YouTube channel. There's all kinds of other ways. I don't usually say that much about it, but I'm going to now because I ain't making shit. Nobody gives me jack shit, and I understand. You don't want to give me anything, fine. I can understand it. But I do think that there is a bit of a trade-off. I do give you something. So let me just tell you here. Cash App, become a sponsor on the YouTube channel. Get your American in Bangkok merchandise, which I haven't sold any merch. I don't know why. I haven't sold much at all in the last year. Patreon patron. Visit my website, purchase my books. You can use Wise to make your transfers. I don't make any money off that, but Wise is great. And you can follow me on social media, or you can just watch. And that should be enough. I lived on $1,200 the past monthly truck payment, but I didn't make a video about it. I just sat on my ass at home the whole time. Well, there's a lot of people that do that. There's a lot of people that they don't want to make a video about it. I understand. I don't live off of $1,200. I can tell you that. I don't. I probably spend $600 to $800 on food. I mean, I spend too much, and I have been trying in the last week to cut down. And like last week, I said to my wife, I go, listen, I've been going to the grocery almost every day, buying stuff we need, getting fresh food. Look at our refrigerator. Look at our cupboards. We're stocked full. She said, oh, yeah. So then, after a week, I said, all right, you need to go shopping. I'm not going shopping. I'm not going shopping for the rest of this month. You need to go shopping. Oh, okay. So she went got went shopping and, did what she had to do. But the point is that I spend a lot of money on food, which, of course, I don't always like doing that, but we all got to eat, right? All right. So the visa enforcement, it's a little tighter. The days of endless extension and shady agents are winding down. If you want an agent, make sure it's a legit agent, and you'll know which ones are legit. If there's some agent out in the middle of nowhere and you've never heard of them before and nobody tells you about it, they're probably not legit. Prices are up. You used to eat, I mean, it says here, you used to eat for 25 baht. No, I used to eat for 15 baht. Now it's 60 baht, 50, 60. The rents are up a little bit. Not our rent. Our rent is cheap. And that's why I don't buy a house. I'd rather sock away the cash and go, I got $500,000 or whatever it is, and I don't need to buy a house to show that I've made it. I don't care, Thank you very much. Woohoo! Can I click on that? No, I can't. What is this? Can I do this? Buy your own super sticker. No, I can't do anything. I was going to try to give you a little thumbs up or something. 400 baht. I mean, I get it for 360 over here, and I don't ever go. Almost never. If I do get a massage, I get thank you very much. There, gotta love Thailand. I get a massage. I get a foot massage. I get a foot scrub, which means they scrub the dead skin off my feet. I get a pedicure and a manicure, and that's about 1,500 baht. Because the pedicure is like 650 baht. Then I get my tip, So, but still, that's not bad. And some months I just go, I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it now. Now next month I'll probably do it, or this month rather. But you know, the vibe is different here. There's more frustration with Farang, who act like jackasses. I got no patience for some Farang who acts like a jackass, who, listen, I've stood up to people before and I don't have a problem standing up for myself. If you remember, I'm down there on Soy 15 where that Ricky drama guy came and tried to talk to me or whatever. And there was another guy, a Thai guy, who was like trying to get me to go with him and do something. I go, hey man, get the fuck away from me. Like I don't need you hounding me. Get away from me. Then there was a guy on the Songtao. Hey, don't get in my face. That's not okay. It's really not okay to get in my face and stand there and try to threaten me. So he got out of my face. But I don't do these things. That doesn't happen very often. I mean, that's 2 times that it's happened in I'd say maybe 3 times in 30 years have I had any kind of run-ins with Thais. Most of the time, it's some jackass foreigner who thinks he knows everything. He thinks he's got his shit together. He thinks he can fight. He thinks this. He thinks that. And I'm like, you know what, dude? Let me get some little guy here. He's 120 pounds. He's like 16 years old. And he's going to beat the shit out of you before you even know what hits you. But they don't think that way. You are a guest here. You are not the king. And I hate to tell you that. A king. You're not a king. You are a guest. And while I think I'm a guest and they allow me to come in, and that's very nice of them, I'm still a guest. They don't have to let me in, you know. Digital nomads and broke influencers are flooding in, and I think that's a bad thing. Thailand's not just retirees and teachers anymore. You've got a lot more competition for jobs, housing, and for respect. Usually, I mean, for me, I get respect almost immediately just when I open my mouth and say a sentence in Thai, because the people go, "Oh." I mean, I was in the taxi the other day. Guy starts talking to me. I start talking back to him in Thai. You know, we're just no problem. We have a conversation. The guy goes, "How long have you been here?" He goes, "You've been here a long time. You speak Thai really well." And I go, "Oh, thank you." Now I don't think that, but I think I speak it the vocabulary that I have and the things that I know how to say, I say pretty easily. You know, you can still live cheap here, but it takes some planning, it takes some smarts, some discipline, and you need to detect the bullshit. You need to know what is bullshit and what is not. All right. What is this? Can they get rid of the yellow toenail? I got no idea, man. No idea. I started doing facials last trip. Yeah, well, my wife has about 100 facial packs, and they're about 80 baht each. So every once in a while, I grab one of them and I put a facial on me. Same here. 7 years, never a problem with a Thai person. Trolls, yes. Jim, agree. Farang is the high up on the list. I mean, I don't want to just dislike Farang for the sake of disliking Farang. But when you've been here a long time and you know how to fit in and you know how to do things and you know what to say, what not to say, and then you got some jackass coming in and he's loud and obnoxious and he doesn't know how to handle himself in a situation, and you're just going, this guy's an idiot, you know. I got a great pedicure on the beach and patio a while back. No yellow toenails. Well, I think the yellow toenail is kind of your thing, and they're going to do the best they can to get rid of it. But if you got a yellow toenail, you know, I don't know what I don't know what to say, man. Yeah, and this is the reason why I don't do a lot of things where I go to tourist areas. I just don't want it. I mean, I go to Surat now, and I'm not in a tourist area. I am in the middle of the jungle. There's nobody, no tourists there, and the Thais all they talk to me, and I never give them any disrespect. I never talk smack to them. I don't do any of that stuff, so I get along with them. Now, if I'm gonna go to Patio or I'm gonna go to Koh Samui or somewhere like that, I want to be very careful about where I go because I don't want to be around a bunch of tourists. You know. Now, let me give you a little checklist on what you should have. What you should have locked down before you even think about moving to Thailand. You need to have savings. I'm sorry. To me, nowadays, you gotta have savings. When I came here, I had 10 grand. That's not enough now, in my opinion. It's not enough. You need like 500,000 at least. It's a gamble. You don't want to come with that? Okay, don't come with it. But I think that's a safe amount so that if something happens, you can take care of yourself. You need a stable monthly income. Really, you need about at least 1,500 because then if you're saying, "Oh, I got $800 a month and that's going to be okay for me," well, maybe it would be. No falang in my village, only me. Thanks, Richard. Thank you. Um, yeah, well, in my village, once in a great while, I see a foreigner, and I don't see them probably for I may not see them again. It may be a year, it may be 6 months, or I maybe never. But I'm pretty much the only one in the village. Um, yeah, you need a stable income, and I would say 1,500. That's just that's your standard. You want to try on $1,000 if you don't have any bills. You have minimal. You're debt free. That's very important to be debt free. Um, well, obviously that helps, but the more you have, even if you don't need to spend it all, the easier it's going to be for you. That's to me, 1,500 is bare bones because you got to have some breathing room. You need private health insurance, unless you got plenty of dough. You end up in the hospital with no coverage, forget about it. Oh, I've got 148,000 baht. Oh, really? Well, guess what? Your bill is 750,000. What? Yes. So you got to have some insurance. Now, if you got 70 million, you're a millionaire. Okay, probably you'll be okay. But I still think, despite what some people think, I think it's a smart idea to have insurance, even if you are a multimillionaire, because you can save your ass. Now, it could be Medicare, Medicaid, whatever it is, whatever you got to do. Okay. I think that's important also. I didn't say I didn't say $500,000. I said 500,000 baht. I said 500,000 baht, not $500,000. $500,000 is a lot of money. If you were smart, you could live off of that for 25 years. Really, you could live off of that easily, pretty easily for 25 years not making any interest and not spending more than you know, what did I say? 25,000 baht, 500,000. You said $500,000. That's 20 years. You can live off of 20 years off of 25,000 a year. If you're spending 20,000 a year, you can live for 25 years. And that's not earning any interest. So, and that's not spending your $1,500 a month. So I didn't say that. I said 500,000 baht. Well, I've thought about it, and I am not going to come to Thailand. I'm spending my 4 months vacation in Cambodia and Vietnam. Well, that's nice. I personally think a vacation is better than moving here in some ways. And I can tell you that Cambodia is very different from Thailand and Vietnam, and Vietnam is very different from Thailand. But do I think Vietnam is markedly better than Thailand? No. I think it's very good. I think it takes some getting used to. And I think Thailand is it's much more easy to assimilate here. And if you have a little bit of patience, it's much easier than Cambodia or Vietnam. The situation in LA has prompted Pattaya expats considering a mass protest with country's flag demanding insurance, fair pricing, and a no 90-day report. Well, good luck with that. The situation in LA has prompted Pattaya expats considering a mass protest with their country's flags demanding insurance, fair pricing, and no 90-day reporting. Yeah, good luck with that. I stayed 6 months twice with a budget under $1,500 a month. Don't recommend it if you like to go out to nice bars or girl bars. Well, forget about it now. I mean, I used to do it with $1,000 to $1,500, and I used to have chicks every night. I couldn't do it now. There's no way. Thailand, especially Bangkok, costs like 75% of cost of living in America. No, it doesn't. Cambodia and Vietnam is much better deals. Dude, you talk so much shit out of your ass that you don't know what you're talking about. You haven't got a fucking clue. You really don't. You are clueless. And I hate to tell you that, but I live in a house that's, how much is it? $200 a month? And it's a 3-bedroom townhouse. Now, if you want to try to find a place for $300 where you can live like that, have at it. And you know what? I'm not the only one. I often tell my friends, and Billy is one of them, you don't have to go down by Sukhumvit and live on Sukhumvit in the Sukhumvit ghetto, in the area where all the foreigners are. You don't have to live down there with everybody else and pay a lot more money. You don't have to do that. You can go out a half an hour, 45 minutes, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, and you can live for a fraction of the cost. And you're not going to get anywhere near it unless you're living in the Midwest. Okay? So please. And the food, let's just go there. I can get, for $10, I can get 3 or 4 things of sushi without any problem. Now, I don't think for $12.50 you're going to get a bunch of sushi in the United States. 4 big plates of sushi. So, you got to take it with a grain of salt, man. You don't look at it from every angle, because let me tell you something. I don't have to live off of $5,000 to $10,000 a month. I don't have to live that way. Short-term rental, like 30 days, will cost you 1,000 baht per day rental. Well, and what do you think you're going to pay in Cambodia, you're going to pay 500 baht. And that's not living here. That's visiting. So what you want is you want a very cheap place to go visit. That's what you want. You are cheap. You don't want to. Let me tell you something. You can go in Vietnam, and I can tell you, I've done it before. You can spend 10,000 baht for a night, or you can pay. The last time I went, I paid about 1,000, 1,200 baht, and we had a bedroom, a big bedroom, and we had a living room with a kitchen and with a living room. But you know what? I've done that here in Bangkok. What's the name of that? You know, those spas, they're all over the place. They're the what the hell is the name of them? Let me see. Amaranth, no. Erewhon, Spa and Wellness Center. I don't know the name of it. But there is a spa on, I think it's Tonglo or Ekamai. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but I just can't. Right down the street from that, we had a place, and it was a big, huge bedroom, huge living room, huge kitchen, and it was like 1,100 baht a day. And my wife and I stayed there just because we wanted to. Well, then why are you paying that much if you're complaining about it? You paid $1,000 a month for rent for 1 month. Okay, so you don't think you can get cheaper than that, buddy? I can tell you, you can get so much cheaper than that, and you have no fucking clue. Again, it's like saying, hey, I'm going to go to Thailand and I'm going to live and I'm going to go get a hotel. And that hotel is going to cost me, or I'm going to go get myself a room and it's going to cost me 25,000 baht. Yeah, you can get that if you want. Or you can do what I do and what I've done the entire time I've lived here. The only time that I ever paid anything more than what I usually pay is when I paid 30,000 baht and I had a 2-bedroom apartment. It was a suite, and I had a massive room with 2 phone lines, a big patio, 2 exits. I had 1 entry door, and then the back way, you could get out the back way. So what I would do is I would have a girl come in through the front, and I'd have another one leave through the back. So you can do these things. But I had a 2,500 baht a month apartment. I had a 7,000 baht a month apartment. I had a 9,000 baht apartment. I had a 6,000 baht house right down the street from here. 6,000 baht. I have a 7,000 baht place now. It doesn't always have to be only long term. That's such bullshit. You don't know anything about what you're talking about, my friend. Paraguay is the new Shangri-La of South America, safest country in South America. 10-year visa for Americans, good infrastructure, food, women, easy on 2K a month. Wow. Yeah, I've heard that before. Paraguay and Uruguay. I've heard about those. I was living close to Prakanong, BTS on Sukhumvit, right on the W, by the W. My budget was less than $2,000 a month, and I was going out weekly. Yeah, and he was ordering food all the time, and he didn't suffer. He wasn't suffering for anything. So this is the thing. You don't have to come here and go, oh, I'm going to pay $1,000 to be able to stay here for a month. You can do that, or you can pay 500 baht, or you can pay 1,000 baht if you want. You can pay whatever you want. But please don't act like the price here is almost what it is in America. Some things, I will say, are, yes, maybe 75%, maybe they're even more money than in the United States. But most things are much cheaper, okay? Even coffee is cheaper here. I hate to tell you this. It's a little bit cheaper. The only place that I have found coffee cheaper in the world is in Portugal. I've been to Cambodia many times. I've been to the Philippines. I've been to Myanmar. I've been to Laos. I've been to Vietnam. And every goddamn one of them, their coffee is almost as much as here, or it's as much. Now, in Portugal, it was like 50 cents for an espresso, a double espresso. And I was like, holy shit. And that was in Lisbon. It's not only long-term rental, okay? You don't know what you're talking about. You are very limited in your view. I'm just telling you the truth, okay? All right, let me continue because I don't want to get stuck with this guy here. I already told you about the private health insurance. I think that's a good idea. You need to know what kind of visa you're going to get when you come here and how you're going to renew it, how easy it'll be. You need to know these things. 25,000 Vietnam for iced coffee. Yeah, your Vietnamese coffee is good, and it's cheaper in some ways than it is here, and in some ways, in some places, it's not. But their coffee is very good. I would say it at least compares, and it might be a little bit better than Thailand. You need to know basic Thai and cultural understanding. You don't need to be fluent, but you better put in a little bit of effort. And I'm sorry, if you want to live here or you want to stay here and you want to be here for, let's say you want to stay here for 3 months every year, learn how to speak a little bit of Thai, man. I mean, it's that simple. Thank you, Dowlo. Thank you very much. Very nice guy. Oh, I get the U.S. tariff. Oh, wow. It's so funny. I don't even think about the tariff. My wife is like, you should think about the tariff. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't care about it. You know, go ahead. They'll figure it out. It'll work itself out. All right. I don't like sweet condensed milk. I don't like that stuff because it's too fattening. Uh, the last thing on the list is that you need to have an exit strategy. I have an exit strategy. I got America first. If I really want, I can go to America. I can bring my wife to America. I can bring my kids to America. We can go to America. It's very easy. The only thing is, it's expensive, but we'd be okay, right? Um, but I don't want to do that. Now, if we were going to go somewhere else, where would we go? I don't think my wife wants to go anywhere in Southeast Asia. Nowhere. Now, she may want to go somewhere in Europe. Ah, shit. Ah. Oh, man. What happened to my little thing here? Hang on a second. Here it is. See this? Oh, yeah, there we go. Very nice. All right, so where was I here? Let me see. Oh, um, how was my stream? Um, my stream is good, and it's definitely not political. I don't want to get into politics. Not on this stream. Thank you very much, there, LCTR fan. Thank you. Appreciate it. I like the sweetened condensed milk too sometimes, but if you really like the coffee, you don't add that, in my opinion. I don't add it. You know, the other day I saw that they have, what is it called? Iced Ceylon tea latte. Iced Ceylon tea latte. And all it was Thai iced tea. But it was good. It was really, really good. All right, let me continue. I'm losing my train of thought here. Thank you, Dowlo. Okay, instant ask her why does American goods cost so much in Thailand because of the Thai tariff. I don't want to get into it with her. With her, she's like, it might mean that we're not going to get as many sales, and then I'm going to be out of business. And you know, listen, she works 2 more years. I'm like, okay, good, we're fine. Let's get out of here. Let's go live somewhere else. You know, and then that's it. We're done. No more. I got invited to Italy by my neighbor, but probably wait until next year. Probably do a couple of months. I'll tell you where I really want to go. Sardinia. Sardinia and Malta. Lucky Australia's a friend of the U.S. Look what happened to Canada. I never come to Southeast Asia without a return flight book and paid in advance. If I have to pay a couple hundred to extend the date, I can easily do that. We went to Italy from Bangkok last year, direct to Milan. She is older than me, albeit she aged well. She also invited my wife. Come on, Billy. I didn't even think you'd think about women anymore. Yeah, I would go to Italy. Actually, my friend is going to Greece in August. He sent me the flyer. I have to see exactly when it is. So my wife and I may go. I don't know. I have the money to go. It would be nice to go. I don't know that I want to go. Well, I want to go there, but I'd like to go to Sardinia. I don't know. To me, Sardinia is like off the beaten path. Nobody's going to mess with me there. If I can afford to live in Sardinia with the wife and the kids, I'm out of here. 90 grace period on Trump's test to be over in 30 days. What will happen to Thailand's economy in 30 days? I don't know. I don't care. Don't know. Don't care. Don't think about this shit. If you don't check every single box on the list, you're not ready. Stay home. And that is 500,000 baht in savings, stable monthly income of approximately $1,500 a month, private health insurance, a plan with your visa. You need to know what plan, what visa you're going to get and how you're going to renew it, basic Thai language skills, and an exit strategy. You know, there was one guy that I met. He landed here. He had $2,000. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna live here." I said, "Oh wow, okay." I didn't ask him anything more. How much money you got? I got $2,000. I didn't ask him, "Do you have a lot more money?" Do you? Didn't say nothing. Um, but he had no degree, no TEFL, no plan, and within a month, he was asking if he could sleep on people's sofas just for just for a couple days. But then he went back home. Uh, of course, there are the guys who marry bar girls in Pattaya. That happens all the time. They, somehow they get a house. They spend everything they have. They get a house. Oh, but I trust her. I love her. And she's a bar girl. And then they put the house in her name and maybe, the pickup truck in her brother's name. And then their bank account is empty. And guess what? The brother and the girlfriend are long gone. They don't want anything to do with them anymore. Hey, you got no more money? I don't want anything to do with you. I've got a pig farm now. Oh, I've got money in the bank and I've got a house now, but you have no more money. I don't want anything to do with you now. You're not getting your little wiener anywhere near me without money. You're going to pay for that. And, you know, since you don't have any money and I've got everything else, I don't need you. That's basically how it works. A retiree, I've known many of these, but some, and I know one in particular, skipped their health insurance. He had, actually, it was a heart attack. And his friends were, thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate that. His friends were scrambling to get the money for him. And then he came out of it and he was able to pay it. Thank you very much. He was able to get out of it, to come out of it. And he had to transfer money from like Germany. And that was the only way he could pay it. And he had to wait until the money came, until he could leave the hospital. I go, fuck that. I go, leave. Tell them to kiss your ass and to file suit against you if you don't pay within a certain day. All you have to do, I mean, listen, when I was in the hospital and I had my bile duct surgery, I gave him my card. I said, here you go, buddy. Plenty of money. I showed him. Here you go. Here, look at the bank. Look at the account. Plenty of money. They tried to run it, wouldn't run. Oh, I don't know. You don't have the money. I said, yes, I do. Don't give me your bullshit. I don't want to hear it. They said, oh, well, maybe you can pay cash. And I said, no, I'm not paying cash. And I said, I'm going home. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I said, I'm going home. I'm leaving. Now, when the money comes back into my bank account, because what they had done was they ran the card because they had the old system, which hopefully they're completely done with it now. They ran the card and it authorizes the card. And that was like $5,000. Now my account was like $6,000 or something. So they ran the $5,000. Now there's only $1,000 left. They can't run it again. So it's not going to go through. Oh, no, you don't have the money. Yes, I do. You're too stupid. You authorized this. You don't use the new kind of machines that they've had around forever. Finally, they said, okay, we'll wait. I said, listen, I live right down the street. You can come to my house. I don't care. But I'm not staying here. I'm leaving. And so I left. I came back. I paid it again. Again, they told me, oh, we're very sorry. We don't see the payment. So I said, hang on one second. I took out my laptop. I went into my bank account. I showed them. Here is your withdrawal. You did not get the money. Not my problem, buddy. Oh. So then they made a few phone calls and they're like, oh, okay. You come back. I was supposed to come back on like Friday night. And I went, fuck that. I'm not coming back Friday night. They can kiss my ass. I make them wait over the weekend. They can sweat it. I came back on Monday morning and I paid them then. And then it worked. And then I was like, okay, cool. Unbelievable. All right. You need two things to survive in Thailand long term. I got a video about this coming on. And these are not the two things. The right mindset and a smart strategy. These are not the two things that are in the video. They're much easier in the video, but mindset means humility. You're not here to beat the system. You're here to try and fit in as best as possible. Respect the culture. Respect is a big word. Adapt to the environment. Don't act like you own the place, because you don't. You're just some idiot who thinks, like, I'm the man. Yeah, I'm the man. No, you're not. You're not the man. Keep a financial connection to your home country. Fortunately, I still have that. Don't dump your life savings into a house you don't legally own. That's just stupid. And don't marry the first girl who calls you tilak, especially if she's a girl working in the bar. I would say if you're new and some girl in a bar says, oh, yes, you move in with me, we marry, you just say, fuck off. I'm out of here. That's what you do. Thailand is not your only option. I'm going to tell you about a couple of places here real quick. There are Other great countries where you can live: Portugal, Ecuador, Mexico, Vietnam, Costa Rica, Panama, Belize, even Cambodia and what I already said, Vietnam, or the Philippines. If you've got the grit, you've got a little determination, you have some money. Thailand is not the only game in town. There are many other countries. Um, listen, I'll tell you something. My wife has never, ever called me Tirak. The only person I know, one person who his wife called him Tirak. And other than that, the only people that I've ever known who called their significant other Tirak worked in a bar. My wife calls me honey sometimes, but that's about it. All right. So, like I said, Portugal is one place. Yes, Albania is one place. It's a little more Wild West, and I actually have looked into it. There was someplace else out there that I was looking at that my friend told me about. My friend was going to buy a piece of land there. If you want quality European quality of life without spending $5,000 a month, Portugal is a winner. Lisbon's a little bit expensive, but if you go farther out, it's less expensive. There's great health care, good infrastructure, friendly locals, and the legal residency options like the D7 visa, which you only need, I think it's $1,000 or $1,200 a month. You need proof of income, but you know what? Big deal. It's not outrageous. Lisbon is safer than most U.S. cities, and you're in Europe. And you're in a different part of Europe. You're not like right in the middle. You're not in London. You're not in France or something like that. Ecuador, cheap, beautiful, underrated. Uh, you've got beaches, mountains, jungle, and the cost of living is low. A lot of guys live well there on $1,000 to $1,200 a month. You can get a residency visa just by showing a basic pension or income. Spanish helps, but it's not a deal breaker, and you can learn. And no one really talks about Ecuador all that much. And my buddy lives there. He's there right now. I don't know how much he lives off of, but I don't think it's $1,000 a month. I think he has a house, and he puts his money back into the house and builds it up so that when people come, he rents it out. I think he rents it out for like $500 a day. So it's like a 6-bedroom place. Mexico, close to home, cheap, got everything: beaches, big cities, mountain towns, and a strong expat network. Medical care is solid and affordable. Food is great. That's true. Visas are easy to get, and long stays aren't hard. It has some security issues, yes, and that's why I don't want to go there. But that depends on where you go. You avoid the cartel hotspots, and you'll likely be fine. Okay, so what is this next one? What is this? Hey, marrying the first girl you meet in Thailand. Work for some guys. Look at foreigner Joe who married the first girl. Go ahead, Darth. You marry the first girl that you ever meet. Some guys are smart, and most guys are not. Most guys think with this thing. Oh my God, she was so great. Our sexual chemistry is so fantastic. So what? You can have a girl that you have great sexual chemistry with who's smart, and that actually cares about you and she's not like saying, "Oh, honey, I only need, 30,000 baht a month. You give me 30,000 baht a month and everything will be okay." And then, oh, the sex is great. But when you cut that money off, I bet you that sex ain't so great. And somehow, yeah, Joe doesn't strike me as a knucklehead. Somehow I think he's smart enough to filter out any kind of riffraff that might be coming his way. There's a big war brewing between the cartels and American military. Oh, Jesus Christ. Who gives a fuck? Who cares? Really? You care about all this immaterial bullshit. You really do. I hate to jump on you, buddy, but I don't live in Mexico, and I don't really want to live in Mexico. But if you do want to live in Mexico, don't live in the areas where the cartels are. Don't live in the areas where there is fighting going on. And that can be done because Mexico is a big country. Vietnam, the new Thailand for some, fast internet, modern cities, low cost. If you can handle the chaos and motorbike mayhem, Vietnam offers a lot. Expats in Da Nang or Ho Chi Minh can live well on a modest budget. Teaching jobs are still available. It's stricter on visas than it used to be, but it is doable. I like Vietnam, but I like Vietnam to visit. Something about it, you know, it just, I don't know. Okay, so obviously she is worthy of his trust. Somehow, I just have a feeling that if you were to come over here and get involved with somebody like the first girl that you ever met, it wouldn't be that easy for you. I don't know. Maybe you're Rico Suave, and I have no idea. We haven't been authorized to go after them in Mexico. The cartels and Mexican government, law enforcement, have been at each other for decades. Yeah, I mean it's fucking bullshit. Listen, all this stuff is bullshit. Every time you come in here, you talk a bunch of smack. You really do. Costa Rica, more expensive than you think. It has prices have risen, but very livable. Pura vida, clean air, strong expat presence, lots of nature. The healthcare system is good, and you've got legal pathways to residency. It's stable and peaceful. If you want to live slow, surrounded by jungle and beach towns, Costa Rica delivers, but it is not so cheap anymore. So what? What is the point? I make a lot more than you think. I can tell you that. Believe me. Don't believe what is it, Social Blades or any of these other fucking bullshit. They don't tell the whole story. Okay, but what is the point of that? We're not talking about him. We're not talking about his channel. We're not talking about how much to give people. We're not talking about that. That's what you do every time you come in here. You hijack the stream. What's your opinion of Brazil? It's a beautiful place. I just don't know. If I was going to live there, I'd really need to know where I'm going to live because there are a lot of places that are quite dangerous there. Now, if I was learning some jujitsu or something like that, then I'd be like, okay, no problem. But I wouldn't just go there, and I don't have the desire to go there. I'd like to go on the Amazon, but and go deep into the jungle. But other than that, I really don't have the desire to go there. Panama, one of the easiest places to get permanent residency, especially with the friendly nations visa. US dollar economy, good infrastructure, and big expat presence. It's not as culturally rich as Thailand, but it's stable and practical. If you want simplicity, Panama's a strong option. Dude, your head is so far up your ass. I'm just saying you can make all the wrong moves in China. Well, he didn't make all the wrong moves. I can tell you that right now. If you are with a good Thai lady, well, I'm with a good Thai lady, and let me tell you something. Um, I'm a lot better off with her than without her, and she's better off with me than without me. And I didn't meet her in a bar, okay? So I take good care of her, but she takes great care of me. Let's see. If you want simplicity, Panama is a strong option. Now, I've been to Panama, and I didn't get to see that much. I was only there for a couple days. I don't know that I would want to live there. I just don't like the whole machismo shit. You know. Yeah, well, I've been there many times, and it's expensive. Every time I go there, I spend more than I want to. Belize, English speaking, laid back, tropical, and small. It's not as developed as other places, but that's the appeal for some. No, he doesn't. Not as cheap as people think, and the medical care isn't world class. But if you're looking for a slow life in the Caribbean without learning a new language, it fits. Belize is a place that there's a lot of wealthy people who live there. And there are some people not so wealthy, but more are wealthy than are not. And it's a very nice place from what I understand. I've been close to there, but I haven't been there. You see, this is what I mean. I should kick you out of this fucking channel. You fucking irritate me to no end because you're so full of shit. The humidity was worse than Thailand in Panama. Okay, I understand that. I never got the feeling of being safe. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you said it wasn't safe in Thailand. I was going to be like, oh my God, dude. Yeah, nothing is free in life, my friend. In Panama, I didn't feel unsafe, but I definitely didn't feel safe. I've been to Nicaragua and I didn't feel safe there. Okay. In Thailand, I always feel safe. My bad. All right, Cambodia. Wilder, cheaper, more raw. Phnom Penh and Siem Reap are cheap compared to Thailand. Cheaper. Again, cheaper. What's cheap? 50 cents for a meal compared to $5? That's cheap. The visa situation is incredibly relaxed. You can stay long term with minimal hassle. They don't even check your finances half the time. My buddy's gone there. He's had his visa, I don't know, for 4 years now. He goes there. They just go, give me the money. Okay. Do I need to show any money? No. Just pay for the visa. Okay. That's it. He's got the visa. You've got to have grit. Infrastructure is a little rough there. Corruption is everywhere, and you are really on your own if something goes sideways. That's true. All right, the Philippines, one of the most welcoming places for Westerners. English is widely spoken. Yes, I like the Czech Republic. Beaches are beautiful. Cost of living is low, and the expat scene is strong. But the infrastructure is inconsistent. Corruption is rampant and is prone to natural disasters. If you can tolerate the chaos, it's an affordable and friendly option. I've been there a lot, and I haven't been there in a while, and I'm not going back. I don't want to go back. I don't need to go back. I like the place. It's nice, but I've been there, done that, and I don't want to go live there. So why do I want to go back? Not going to happen. Portugal and Spain on our bucket list. I have a buddy living in Dominican Republic. He's a dive master and he loves it there. He lives in Sosua. It's an expat community. You know what, Jim? I don't know about Dominican Republic because it is a little bit dangerous there. Not that I wouldn't go there. It's near, it's somewhat near Miami or whatever, but I just don't think so. I'd rather go to Europe. I'd rather be in the Mediterranean. I mean, honestly. Well, you never know. Maybe you'll fall in love with a Filipino girl. Who knows? Thailand is great, but it is not the end all. There are many other places, like we said, Albania. Greece, you know, Montenegro, Sardinia, Malta, all these places. They're great places. Romania, lots of great places, man. You can go anywhere. And I'm telling my wife, this is how much we need. This is how much we need in the bank. And this is what we need every month. And this is how we can do it. Now, of course, I'm not thinking of the kids. I'm like, okay, well, they're going to have jobs. They're going to be on their own. They're going to do what they want. But I don't know what she's going to think about it. I don't know. But I know that we can at least go somewhere for like 3 months. And, that'll be fine. Oh, Jesus Christ. Right. Every place in Albania is boring. Okay. I tell you what, I'm not going to trust you because you know why? I've seen lots of videos about Albania and heard a lot of things about Albania and looked into how to stay in Albania. You can get into Albania and stay there for quite some time without having to do the usual things that you do in other countries. So, boring to you might be exciting to other people. Remember that. Well, I mean, we talk about it all the time. We're always talking about it because I'm always going, don't you want a place where the air is clear and where we can always go out and get fresh fruit? And she's like, well, I can get that in Thailand. I'm like, yeah, like where we have a different culture and we're like, and she'll go, oh, yeah, okay, maybe. So maybe 3 months she'd be willing to do that, like for a summer, every summer, I don't know. Dowlo, I think that Portugal would be a good option. I love Portugal, man. That's all I can say. I've been there twice, and I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. It was such a nice place. And the fish, fantastic. The beef, the pork, the everything that they made, the festivals that we went to. We went to 2 festivals. The liqueur was fantastic. Unbelievable. So I would go there again. For sure, I would go there again. And actually, you know what? I hate to say this because my wife has already been there, and that is Spain. But Spain is a lot cheaper than many places. And supposedly the standard of living is quite high. Now, I like to live a little ways away from people because I just don't want to be around the masses of people. If you're thinking about moving abroad in 2025, think globally, not emotionally. It's hard to do. You want the best quality of life for your money with the fewest headaches. Yeah, that's what it is. Depending on your age, your budget, and tolerance for chaos, Thailand might not be your best bet anymore. Look at your options, compare everything, and then choose with your head, not your fantasy. I don't know what my top 3 are. I like Portugal. I like Ecuador. Maybe Spain, but I really would be interested in Sardinia. It's a very small place. Malta, some of these places. I don't know. Maybe I would not be welcome there, but I don't think so. Okay. Each place has its pros and cons, but don't get tunnel vision. Thailand is great for the right person at the right time. And when I came here, it was the right place for me. Now, it's just like it is. I'll be honest. This place is no longer exotic to me most of the time. 90% of the time, it's not this crazy exotic place. It's just like me being back home in the United States. That's kind of what it's like. If it doesn't fit your life anymore, maybe you need to move on, and that's why I'm thinking about it. There is no medal for suffering in so-called paradise. What is this here? Well, I've never been to Spain, but I kind of like the music. Jim, I love the tapas. Yes, tapas are great. Hi, Raymond. Well, I'll say this about Spain. If I'm not there working, I'm going to love it. I know that. Hey, Raymond. They say the ladies are insane there, and they sure know how to use it. And that matters to us. Why, Jim? My top three would be Texas, Thailand, Mexico, not in that order. No, not me. I mean, I already know Thailand is the top one. I like Portugal. I'm just going to say, Sardinia because I'm looking into it. It could be somewhere else. I don't know. Could be Spain. But I don't think it would be Vietnam. I just don't think so. And forget about Hong Kong. I don't care. I don't want to live in Hong Kong. I don't want to live anywhere where there's Chinese like the Chinese are now. I've been there when the protests were going on and I covered it, and I don't want to go back. No, thank you. Yes, I know about Three Dog Night, and I knew that's what you were talking about, but I didn't say anything. Okay, the takeaways. Thailand in 2025 is more expensive, less forgiving, and full of traps for the unprepared. Yes, like guys who come over here and think they got to spend 30,000 baht because they want to stay in a place for a month. Don't move here unless you got the money, the visa, the health insurance, and the plan. Success here is never really luck. Not anymore, it's not. When I came here, it was a little luck and it was a little bit of strategy, but I got lucky. Now it's strategy, humility, and discipline. So, what is the worst mistake you've seen or you've made in Thailand? Do me a favor. Um, Drop the answer in the live chat or the comments. That would be great. Let's see who's brave enough to tell the truth. I don't know. Is there anybody out there? For the right person, Thailand can be great. And most of the time for me, it's a fantastic place. I love it. But it is not the fantasy that everybody thinks. It's not the end all to be the end all. If you're coming in 2025, you might want to bring more of a suitcase because it might take a little bit more than just bringing a suitcase and deciding you're moving here. You need to have a plan. Otherwise, you just stay home. All right. Now, remember to smash the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do so by joining the VIP section for as little as $1.99. If you want to send me a message, you can do that. Or you can send me a Dear Scott letter, or you can get a consultation, a paid consultation. Just email me at anamericaninbangkok@gmail.com. And that's about all that I have to say. That's about all I have. I am Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Chok di leo jerk and mai, which is good luck and see you again. Now let me read some of this here. I'm used to Mexicans. Now whenever everybody says, smash the like button. I wonder where you would be if you chose another girl. I don't know, Japan? I don't know. Got no idea. Marriages was always the biggest mistakes and the most common mistakes that I hear from other expats. I always hate this shit. Everybody says this. I'm not going to get married. I got married. Listen, I know guys who've been married for 50 years, 60 years. And they'll go, oh, sometimes I had the greatest time because I was married. Sometimes I didn't. It's the same thing with me. I've been married for almost 30 years. Sometimes my wife is great. Sometimes she's a pain in the ass. I'm sure she can say the same thing about me. That's all, you know. The worst mistake I made driving into Bangkok City. My nerves have never been the same. Oh, Jesus Christ. Dowlo, don't be a lightweight, okay? Thanks, Scott. No. Dowlo, I've learned to drive in Boston. Bangkok is a breeze. Yeah, I mean, come on. I'm under 50, so I used an educational visa for 5 years, then got flagged at the airport. Bought an elite visa. Oh, that's good. And they bring out a DTV visa at 95% of the cost. That would suck, man. Seriously. Nobody knows until you meet the girl. Yeah, I mean, listen, we're just on a journey down a path, and we don't know which path is going where and for how long we're going to be walking on it or what we're going to be doing. A lot of times we just don't know. Yeah, Dowlo driving in Bangkok is scary. I don't even want to think about that. You know, I don't. I like thinking of Dowlo just sitting there with his wife, and his wife does everything. And then Dowlo doesn't have to. He just goes, okay, no problem, and he doesn't have to do anything. She does everything. That's not me. I try to tell my wife what to do, and sometimes she'll, you know, refute me, but a lot of times she'll listen, which is great. So, anyway, that's all I have. Uh huh. That's all I got. A nice stream today. A nice long stream today. 2 hours. We've got the lovely Darth Sun in here. Okay, don't mean to give you a hard time, but everybody else, thank you for coming in here. There's part of driving in Thailand is having a wife who argues with Google. Now, that would irritate the shit out of me, man. Oh, God. All right. I will talk to you guys later. Until next time, whenever that may be.